Welcome guys to another video. I have arrived back in my hometown of Madison, Wisconsin. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about what I said in the thumbnail. Rejection makes you stronger. As you guys have seen, I've got rejected so many times just through the videos that I've showed you guys, but thousands of more times out there and talking to women. And from getting rejected by so many women, something amazing has come. And not just now, it has come through the track of doing it over and over and over. What I'm going to tell you right now is going to give you the chance to know why you need to continuously do this so it cannot be a thing for you. Simply this. I've been rejected over and over and over and over to the point now it doesn't faze me. Let me say this clearly, because I don't know if you're someone who feels I'm scared of rejection, or you're someone who feels I don't want to go into this situation and get rejected. Where getting rejected over and over and over allows you to be unfazed by it. You need to know what it feels like first to be unfazed by it. But if you're always avoiding it, how could you ever be unfazed by it? You're so fazed that you don't want to step into it so you can be unfazed. That's so crazy, isn't it? It's so crazy that you're after something, but at the same time, you don't want to step in and attain it. Being unfazed happens through desensitizing yourself to something that used to scare you mentally. And I wouldn't say desensitize is the right word, but being able to see it for what it is. That's really the shift. The shift is moving from disillusion to what it really is. From fogginess and ambiguity to clarity. That is the shift. And as a man goes out there and he speaks to woman after woman after woman, and he feels this, okay, this is not so bad. Oh, going into this situation is not so bad. He starts to become unfazed. That is what you want. You want to become unfazed. And unfazed doesn't mean that you don't feel anything. That's not what I'm saying. It means that you're not shooken so far in a direction where you start to build a belief around it. That's what unfazed means. Unfazed means neutrality. It means that even though something happens, you maintain being neutral. Even if you feel your emotions all over the place, you maintain being neutral within the emotions. So to speak, being still within what's happening. That is the beauty of being unfazed. That is the beauty of stepping into what is the situation going to bring up inside of me? What am I afraid of, and walking into this that I don't want to face? Because the moment you face it, what will happen is you will notice that everything that you were afraid of, it starts to simmer away. And this is what I came to. I came to the going out there and speaking to this girl, and speaking to this girl, and speaking to this girl, to the point where, so I'm speaking from girl to girl, I started to notice that something beautiful started to happen for me. I started to feel that I was more there with the girl. Even if she gave me a bad emotion, even if she wasn't in the right mood, I was more interested in being there with her than what was going on inside of me. Of course, before this, it wasn't like that. I would see situations and I would back off because I felt that I don't want to face the sensations that this situation will bring up. And that's for anybody on earth. Any man on earth, he knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about when I say you just don't want to face a situation that's going to make your heart race. You don't want to face a situation where you'll begin to think a lot and you'll start to feel like you're unworthy. You don't want to face these things. And I remember, going out there and having to face walking up to a woman. Having to face what is it like walking up to a woman in a club who is really beautiful that everybody wants. I had to face what is it like going up to a girl that's in a group in a store where everybody can zone in on me. I had to learn these situations for me to be able to gain sanity, for me to be able to see through, Don't continuously allow yourself, like many guys do, and like I did in the beginning, to just stay with the fogginess. Why stay with ambiguity? Why stay with not pushing yourself into a situation that's going to allow you to have what you want? Why continue to stay in the place of this is where I am, that's what I want right there? Why continue to stay here? Why not mesh the two? Once you mesh the two, what happens is you start to notice that everything becomes different. And as everything becomes different, you are unfazed. But this walking through is very, very important. And this is one of the beautiful things that I love about when a man starts to walk through, is that he starts to see the reality of things. He starts to see that, you know what, even though these situations are so scary to me, I don't have to allow this situation to be as it is. I can go into it and find the truth in this. I can walk into it and see through the veil. Because it's easy for you not to see through. It's easy for you to want to look away and not even look at. Because the looking at makes you face, which is one of the scariest things that we go through as men or as people, is having to face the thing that we fear the most. And one of the things that a man fears more than anything is approaching a woman. That's one of the things that he will fear in this life, simply because he has so much attached to what the woman will say about him, so much attached to what she will think of him. So rejection means so much. It means much more than what it actually is. I challenge you though. I challenge you to go out there, man. I challenge you to really, really want to have a different track with women. My track with women was not like it is now, where I'm comfortable being around a woman, where I'm okay for her to be in a bad mood or a good mood, the same. If she's in a bad mood, I'm totally fine. If she's in a good mood, I'm totally fine. To the same extent, which means I'm not looking at a good mood as better than a bad mood. I'm not looking at a bad mood as being worse than a good mood. I'm just looking at, okay, these are the two moods that happens when I go up to a woman. Many of the times the girl is in a good mood moving to neutral. She's mainly in there, but that I don't see that better than the bad mood. And neither should you guys. Because once you start to see through, all this become just an experience. There's no more trying to only get confirmation and affirmation for who I am and away from someone trying to make me feel like I'm something else. There's no more trying to move on this side to this side. It's just simply seeing all. And this clarity of vision allows you to be able to just step outside and see. As I say so many times when I talk about meditation, is the stepping outside and becoming the watcher. This is what happens when you allow yourself to test yourself in situations, is that you allow yourself to step outside and see. Rejection in itself is just simply you trying to move away from something that you currently fear. That's all it is. You're trying to move away from it. And once you step outside of yourself and see, you start to see that, fuck. It wasn't until I was able to really walk through and see this clearly, to see what's actually happening, that I could be released from it. The release from it happens only when you walk into. You become unfazed when you walk into. Of course, the situation of walking into it is very difficult. Of course it is. Of course your heart's going to race. Of course you're going to feel like you can't do it. Of course you're going to feel like you're inadequate. Of course you're going to feel these things. That is a necessary track for you to feel. It's not without that track that you can't feel the track of feeling that you do have it, or that you do know it, or that you can do it. You must first feel that you can't do it before you can do it. That's the thing about it, and that is what makes it enjoyable. I love the joy of being able to walk up to a woman now, because I can be able to give her an experience that's different. Even though today, I was thinking about today, I walked up to this Asian girl and she had this wonderful mix between rocker girl and being very like womanly. Because she had like these tattoos, this nose ring, but she had this dress on with these heels that looked like kind of church heels in a way. So I walked up to her and I told her that, and she really enjoyed it. And as she was sitting there, we're talking, and I could see that she's uncomfortable, and I try to see what's going on. And we continue to, but the whole time, I'm not saying that this is a bad experience. I'm not judging this experience as bad. Although, yes, nothing happened between us, okay? But I'm not judging it as bad. I just noticed that, okay, this woman is uncomfortable. I've done what I can to make her not feel uncomfortable. She's still there. I need to let her just be there. I'm not going to try to deliver her or release her from that place. That's not my job to do that. My job is to only offer the opportunity for her to relax. And the opportunity for her to relax is my empathy. And from that point, it's up to her. And that's completely what I do with every woman now. If she's in a really great mood, I'm not getting excited because I'm thinking that, fuck, I'm gonna get her number and I'm gonna go on a date. No, that's not happening. If she's in a really bad mood, I'm not getting so deflated where I'm like, fuck, man, she's in a bad mood. Why did I walk up to her? You know, maybe I should have went up this way. Because that's usually what happens. That's usually what happens as men in the beginning, is that every single thing phases us. And I'm not talking about phase in the sense of only negativity. I'm talking about phase in the sense of positivity. Because when you're phased, it means that you're just pulled harshly or very directly in one direction. And whether that be really feeling good and like, oh my God, this is great, or in the direction of, this is so bad, I hate this. That's being phased. And men, we tend to be in a direction of, if the girl is giving us a good response, we feel like, fuck, okay, this is going good. I better not say anything to fuck this up. I better end this early. I better not try to take the woman home. You try to do all these things to make sure that it stays in a good place. Or when she's in a bad place, you try to do everything being apologetic. You try to overextend yourself. You try to do many things when she's in a bad place too. But as you can see, none of it works. None of it works. It doesn't. It's not until you're able to see both sides as the same and you respond to both of them the same. I don't mean that you become a robot where you just always like, all right, she's in a good mood, I respond the same. She's in a bad mood, I respond the same. No, I'm just saying if she's in either mood, you don't allow yourself to get pulled in a direction very hard. Just yes, she's there, and I can see that. But you can only be unfazed like this, like the way that I am now. I only got to this place by constantly walking into situations that scare me. By constantly seeing, okay, this is what I need to do. And if I don't do this, I'm gonna continuously feel what I'm feeling right now. That's the only way through. I started to go, I'm literally standing outside looking at what I want, but I'm so afraid of stepping into it. Because if I step into it, I'm forced to change. I'm forced to actually be different. I'm forced to face the things that I believe and have those change. That's all the things you're really facing. You're not really facing a situation that's going to change you. You're really facing yourself in that moment. You're facing a part of yourself that wants to keep you the same. And as you face the part of yourself that wants to keep you the same, it turns into something different. You start to see it for what it is. That clarity of vision is what every man really looks for in his life. He wants that peace, because when you're in peace, you're clear. You're able to see. And I know you're someone who wants to see. I know you're someone who feels, you know what? Yeah, I do struggle with being afraid that the woman's gonna say no to me. I do struggle with going over there and having a woman harshly reject me. I do struggle with that. My question is, do you actually struggle with that? Or do you struggle with dealing with what would happen if you actually went over there and felt that? Dealing with the feelings of what it feels like for a woman to do that. So you're not really afraid of the rejection or the thing the girl is doing. You're afraid of the feeling that you're gonna feel from it. But I have to tell you right now, it's until you feel that you're afraid of, it's not until you feel that you'll get clarity. You need to feel it to have clarity. You need to feel it to really see. You need to feel it to become stronger, stronger, stronger. The only way I became strong like this was walking into it and seeing. It hurt. I heard it. It's not right. It hurt. It didn't feel good. It actually felt uncomfortable. Do you know that still most of the time I walk around, I'm uncomfortable? My whole life has become uncomfortable. I've become okay with the fact that life is uncomfortable and comfortable. When you're really living life, I mean, as you are, truthfully, moment to moment, you live in both at the same time. Or you're the watcher of all three, which is uncomfortable, comfortable, Life, which lives in the middle, you're the watcher outside in, but you still feel the undoing in your nature. And that's a really deep thing that I could talk about on my Tuesday videos. If you guys didn't know, my living life outside of pickup videos. But for now, I'll just stay on topic. Rejection made me stronger, and it can make you stronger. But the only way it can make you stronger if you go and face it. There's no way that you're going to become stronger in relation to rejection unless you face the moments, unless you face yourself in the moments where you want to walk away. You face a situation which in relation to that situation, you face yourself. And as you do that, you start to change, and the changing process doesn't feel good, but it's who you are. And you need this. If you're in a situation you say, what am I really afraid of? It will always get you to what you're really afraid of. Because once you ask yourself something, you will come up with the answer. Because you know, maybe you're afraid to just really be honest with yourself, but when you ask yourself a question like that, somehow you'll be able to come to it. It takes a brave person to be able to ask themselves this. Because in the moment as it's there, when you're feeling the thing, you don't want to ask yourself that, because then you're in that moment, you're faced to do something different. But it's until you do something different like this, where you're going to actually evolve. If you want to evolve as a man, if you really want to have the women you want in your life, you need to be able to ask yourself questions that's going to get you to the root of that which you feel. The root of what you feel can only be noticed through the asking of a question that's going to get there. That's what needs to happen. I say this from experience, guys. I say this because I always am, wow, this woman that just walked past, her perfume smelled great. I've always been someone who have been honest with myself. And in being honest with myself, and in these situations, I would go, what am I really afraid of? I always came up with the answer, and it was always, I was able to walk through in some way. I was able to walk through. And now I'm at the point where I can walk up to any woman, honestly, in any situation. I don't care what it is. I can walk up to a woman, even feel things. The feeling things doesn't matter to me anymore. It doesn't. I'm unfazed by the feeling. And just operate normally. The feelings can be there, but I'll operate normally. But to be able to do that, of course, it took me time. It took me constantly getting rejected and being stronger and stronger from every situation that made me face that part. But as you continuously do that, you'll notice that you'll come to that ground of peace in yourself about walking up to women. And once you do that, now the choice becomes all. Because right now your choice is almost none if you haven't went up to any women. But the moment that you get rejected over and over and over and over, and you get some successes, and get rejected over and over and get some successes, the moment you go through that track, what happens is you become unfazed. And now what's actually an option is all. And that's the place that you want to get to. So, thank you guys for joining me in on this video. And as you guys know, I'm now in America. I'm here now. I've been saying it, but now I'm here. I'll be in New York City, November 4th. I'll be in Toronto, November 18th, and I'll be in San Francisco, December 2nd. I'll be giving seminars in these cities, and in the next 2 weeks, the tickets will be available for New York City. But for now, Toronto and San Francisco, you have to wait. And also, I want to give you a free seduction course. That is the one I've created for you from the Meet to Bedroom series. And that's everything from what do you do when you approach the girl all the way to what do you do to get her to the bedroom. And like I always say, who you are is valuable for that which you want in life and in relation to women. It's just realizing it. Thank you for tuning in. This is Tony Solo. I'll see you later.